Uh-oh, I'm 3 minutes late, and I don't know why it's looking so dark. I apologize for that, you guys. Anyway, welcome to Live at 5. I'm sorry we took last week off because of the storm. And luckily, it was just a little bit too precautionary. We didn't need it, but you know, better to be safe than sorry, right? Because you never know, we're going to go out of power. Actually, hi Madeline, how are you, honey? I have not been out of power here at this house since I bought this house, but in Michigan we ran out of power all the time. So, all right, you guys, I have a really ambitious. Excuse me, audience.
Shall I go sit on the church?
I'm gonna ground these girls. If we take a week off, we got a lot of catching up to do. But anyway, so but I have a really ambitious demo to do. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So you know, maybe you'll come in, maybe you'll come out. But we are going to do carnitas, which I've already cooked the meat, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight onto how I did that. And so we're doing carnitas, and I'm doing kind of a pickled coleslaw to go with it, and we're gonna make a pico de gallo and brownies. Oh, I forgot I gotta get my cinnamon and my cayenne pepper out for my brownies. Hold on one second. Don't you know it's the cinnamon? Oh, here it is. All right, here we go. All right, yes. So we're gonna make some brownies. We're gonna do that first because we want to get those in the oven, right? Hey, Sandy. Hey, Don. Glad you could join us today. I am going to start with. I'm gonna be talking about the pressure cooker. I'm going to be talking about the blender, and I'm going to be talking about my mixing stand. I'm not going to talk about it in great detail. Now, I just want you to know that I'm going to be mixing up my brownies with our paddle. And again, what the great thing about our paddle that makes it special is this scraper on the edge. I can put this in here and not have to worry about scraping the sides and scraping down. You know, and you know when you're doing like a lot of things I'm going to be doing like today, I'm just wondering if maybe I just think I'm dark. It seems like I'm pretty tan. It might not be the light. I'm just digressing, and more about me than you want to know. What we're going to do here is we're going to take our Pampered Chef brownie mix. Now, I wish you all need to buy a package of this because it is absolutely delicious. The bonus about our brownie mix is that it's also gluten-free. So for people, my friends of you who are need to have gluten-free products, you're going to find these are going to be the best brownies you're going to taste. I promise you, gluten-free. So I'm going to make our brownies out of our gluten-free mix because I'm going to have leftovers and I need to send them home to people who are gluten-free. Now all I need to do to add to this is I need to add my eggs. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my egg and I'm going to crack it on the side. Remember, we don't crack it on the edge of a pan because we don't want more cracks. And I also put them into my prep bowl. And then, just in case I get any more cracks, I can make sure that there's no cracks in that. And I'm going to add that to my brownie mix. And I'm adding a half of a cup or 1 stick of melted butter. Okay? Should spatula? There we go. There we go. I have to make my audience laugh. All right. So I'm going to put this on my mixer. Oh, I better put my paddle on. Better put the paddle on. Put it down, and I'm just going to press it. I'm going to set it to mix, and it's going to mix automatically. I don't have to worry about it. It will start up if I press the button. And then you'll hear it speed up. I hope you might not be able to hear it speed up, but it will speed up on its own, which is nice. want to keep up with my garbage here because I have a lot going. Oh, shoot, I forgot to add the special stuff. I'm going to add a teaspoon of Caringi cinnamon. Now, our Caringi cinnamon is the highest grade of cinnamon you can buy. And if you've ever been to, if you've ever had a Cinnabon cinnamon bun, you know, you can smell them for like a mile before you get there. And that's because they use the highest grade of cinnamon, and that's Caringi cinnamon. And our cinnamon is only available during the holidays. But if it's not a holiday, I usually keep the stash on it. Just let me know. I might be able to supply your needs. Now, I'm going to take some cayenne pepper. Now, I'm not really sure how hot this cayenne pepper is. I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon in. And I'm going to tell you what, when I had my cafe and I had Mexican brownies, they went crazy over them. And that's all it is. So, and that could be any box mix. Just add a teaspoon of Caringi cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/8 teaspoon if you're a lightweight. And you're going to be surprised how delicious these are. But you won't be that surprised because Karen told you about it, right? And she only makes good stuff. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, now what we're going to do next is we are going to make our coleslaw. This is where I'm going to pull out my rapid prep mandolin, and this is how it condenses. You know, you can fold it all together, which is really nice. I like to use it this way. And pull up my handle. There's my blade. Put my hopper on. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. And put it on, not upside down. And there we go. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take, I'm using my onion for something else. My brownies are finished. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll put my brownies in the oven. I'm taking my cabbage, and I have to make it smaller. And I need to set this on slice, and I want it to be quite thin. So I'm going to put it on 2. And I'm just going to slice my cabbage. I have it quite fine. Just a little bigger. There we go. Comment below if you have this. I wonder if some people are having a hard time getting on today. I see people kind of coming in and going. I wonder if there's a reception is bad. Okay, I'm going to just move that along here. And I'll do the last bit of my cabbage. Again, you can do this from paper thin to 1/4 inch thick. Depends on what you like, which is nice. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to just add a little color to my coleslaw. And I love to put red cabbage in it, but red cabbage always seems to give it color. You know, it makes it all purple. So I like cabbage, and cabbage is a great thing to do on here. I'm going to take this and set it to my julienne setting, and again, I want it to be quite small. And I'm going to put my carrot in here. So now I have my vegetables for my coleslaw already here. Doesn't that look great? I'm not hearing any oohs and ahs. Ooh.
It's falling out.
It's falling out, yeah. All right, we're gonna set that aside. I'm gonna put this aside. Kilo carrot. Add that right there. The city carrot. All right. All right, so now we need to make our, you know what? Yeah, now we need to make our salad dressing. And I'm going to use my blender for this. I'm going to turn my cutting board around a little bit and pull my blender over here. And what I'm going to do, you know, I'll just pull it off because it's kind of tall for me. And I am going to add a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I prefer vegetable oil and not canola oil. Canola oil is a little too processed for me. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar with the mother. Shake it up. It's good for you. And I'm going to add that. And I'm going to add, my Floridians here might be upset with me, but I'm going to add some good Michigan honey from my my friend my farmer friend Lori Brown. And I'm going to add just about that much honey. Finishing off my jar. And I had another jar ready just in case I needed it. It'll blend up good. Oh, okay. She wants to make sure I get every little bit out of that jar. And now she's really going to be happy because now I'm using some lime juice. And this girl loves lime. So I'm going to take this, cut my lime in half. Now I'm going to use my juicer. And again, if you're not familiar with our juicer, it is not plastic. It looks like it's plastic, but it's not. It's metal. And you're going to turn your the cut side down in your juicer and then just press. That means you won't get juice squeezed in your eyes. Okay? Here we go. Okay. Now we need, I'm just going to add, the recipe calls for a jalapeno and I forgot to buy jalapeno. But I'm just going to put a couple pieces in just to give it a tang. I need our jar opener. There we go. I'm just going to put a couple pieces in, just for a little bit of tang. These are pickled jalapenos. Now I'm going to use cilantro in two things today. I'm going to use it in our pico de gallo, and I'm also going to use it in our salad dressing. And I'm just going to take a chunk and put it in my blender. Take this out. You don't want to blend that up. And put my top on. And again, this is another thing I really like. I don't really need to use that today, but I can just set this and forget it. So I'm just going to use it on, I'm going to put it up. Probably with just a little salt. I'm just going to put a pinch of salt in. And there's our salad dressing. And we probably should taste that. You should always taste your let everybody taste it. And tell me what you think. Taste that. Does it need?
It's good.
Is it
It's got a little kick when you swallow it.
pucker power?
It's good for dressing. Yeah.
Good because it'll this.
Yeah.
I actually think it needs a little bit more honey. I think it needs a little bit more honey.
Yeah, it makes it a little sweet.
Maybe just a teaspoon. I should have used my measure-all cup, right? Okay. And doing this backwards. Okay, oopsie. Give this another, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna take my 2-quart batter bowl. I'm gonna put in my coleslaw, veggies. You could add onion to this. I'm gonna be putting some onion in the pico de gallo, so I didn't want to really feel like I want to have a lot of onion. And then we're gonna add our salad dressing. And then that will just marinate a little bit while we finish the rest of our. Isn't that pretty green? It's a pretty green. I was just going to set this aside, but I wanted to show you that I put in about a cup of water and a drop of a drop of dish soap. And I'm not going to run it right now because it'll, you know, it will compete with me for attention, which I don't want. And but it will clean itself, which is really nice. Just wipe off the lid, and that's a nice benefit. All right. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do that. All right. So let me just stir up my coleslaw. And there we go. Doesn't that look pretty? All right, set that aside and put this away, put that away. I'm gonna wipe off my area, and then we're gonna come back. Oh, I gotta get my brownies in the oven.
We were just saying the audience was getting nervous.
The audience was getting nervous because I haven't put the brownies in the oven. They'll take about 12 minutes to cook, so
Oh, yeah.
yes. Because we have a special pan. Here's our brownie pan. And look, I don't even have to really touch those brownies. They are pretty well done. Does it taste good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What I need to do, now this is pretty thick. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my large scoop and I'm going to spray my pan. You know, when you're baking, the recipe says to grease and flour. So I use Baker's Joy. I'm not a big fan of sprays. Well, I don't need any cabbage in there. But for this one, it has the grease and the flour all together, so it makes it really easy. So now what I'm going to do is move this over some more. And I'm using my extra large scoop here to put my brownies in my pan. And if I do this right, I should have exactly 12. Exactly 12. We got 2 people on. I wonder where everybody is today. I don't know if we're having some technical difficulties. Usually I got like 14 of you on. You see what happens? That's what happened when I take a week off. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. You bought my tops. Isn't that funny? We have an in search of place. So if you're ever looking for Pampered Chef products that are retired, it's a great resource. And there was a couple of shirts that somebody was trying to sell, and Michelle and I both wanted it. Okay. This is pretty thick today. And you know what? I probably could just take a few more, take a little pinch off of each of these. And I'm just going to throw them in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, so now we have that done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some pico de gallo. And I don't know what I did with my, here it is. You know, I use this a lot. I especially like it for tuna fish because I like my tuna fish. You probably might have heard me say this before. I like a green olives in my, we almost lost a chair, you know, and everybody's laughing. Now they're not gonna stop laughing now. I like to take green olives and I process my green olives. And I add about a tablespoon of mayo, and I add I use a packet of tuna, put my tuna in, I do this, and my tuna fish is done. I love it for that. It comes with a lid, so if you've got leftovers, you can put them in the refrigerator, really nice. But I really do like this a lot for onion. And I am gonna just take my onion, and I'm gonna put it in here, and I wanna show you how easily that chops onion, and it is really nice for that. And I'm going to add some cilantro. A bit more than that. I'm going to add some cilantro, and I'm going to add half of a lime juiced. Sometimes I don't turn it upside down. I don't worry about getting. But so we just put a little bit of that in, and I'm going to take some tomato, and I've got kind of chunked. I had half of a tomato left, and I'm just going to chunk that up a little bit and put that in here. Again, I'm going to need a little bit of salt. I'm going to go grab the salt. Sometimes I put things away too fast. Does it ever happen to you? Doesn't happen often. Okay, so I'm going to add, my fingers are wet, so I'm going to grab a spoon and just add a little bit of salt. And here we go. Now we have a great pico de gallo. And what I'm going to do now is clear up. Oh, I have another piece. Oh, that's okay. I'll just chop up this piece of tomato and put it in there. Waste not, want not. And set that aside. I'm going to clear up a little spot here, and I want to show you what I am, doing here. Hey Sharon, good to see you. Bonnie Denning, I started my morning with you. That's great. I'm just going to wipe this off a little bit because now we're going to start assembling things. And I'm going to be using our cool and serve tray. And if you're not familiar with our cool and serve tray, what's wonderful about this is that it comes with inserts. And the inserts can either be used, I'm going to put that in here. You can use one side for deviled eggs, which I think it's hard to find something great for deviled eggs, and this is really great, and it keeps them cold, which is nice. This has been in my freezer. I keep them in my freezer. And you could use half of it. You could use half of it for like a little veggie tray, and the other half for deviled eggs if you want. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my coleslaw and put in here. And I'm going to take some pico de gallo. I might not have enough to fill everything up. I'm going to put some pico de gallo in here. I'm going to take some sour cream. I'm getting a thumbs up there. It's a little, stir it up a little bit. Add some sour cream to that. Leave that spoon there. And now I also need to add some avocado. Now, my avocado is not quite as ripe as I would like it. Let's see how this works out. I'm going to take a spoon and take it out of the shell, like that. You probably could use one more day of ripening, but I'm going to use this in my quick slicer. And this is great for avocado slices. Isn't that perfect? But I could also take it and twist it. And now I have, oopsie. Try to get that on there right. There we go. And I have diced avocado, which is really, really nice. Do you both like avocado? Should I do the whole avocado? No.
Well, what you gonna do with that little bit? Might as well use it.
Oh, I'll eat the half myself. Okay. Yeah. So here we have. I could put some salsa in there, but I'm not sure we need salsa with pico de gallo. All right. So that is our spread. You can put that on the table if you'd like. And again, that will keep your food cold for like 2 hours. Now let's talk about our meat. I've got things talking to me. Right. How we doing? We are, only a half hour. We got it almost all finished. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. Okay, this is my pork. And this is a pork butt, and I cooked this at about noon. And when I cook pork like this, I do it for an hour and a half in my pressure cooker. This is the thing that takes the longest whenever I use my pressure cooker, is this meat. And what I did was I took a half of a jar of our Carnitas. Oh, I might have put it away. I'm not sure where I put it, but it's a half a jar of our Carnitas seasoning and a 20-ounce bottle of root beer. And you won't believe how good this is. I used it earlier. I'm not sure where I put it. So then I pressure cooked it for 90 minutes. It's still hot. It was done about an hour and a half ago. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my pork roast out. It's falling apart. It is so well done. And I actually like to buy, I could have bought one without the bone, but I choose to use the bone because it adds the marrow to the recipe, which I think is wonderful. But when you can pull your bone out, like, it's too hot for me to handle, but you can pull the bone out like that, it is amazing. Okay, what a heck of a time here. I'm fighting with this way too much more than I should. All right. And so there's some fat and stuff in it. Now, I do save the liquid a little bit, just in case. Sometimes when it cools down and I've got leftovers, it gets a little dry. So all I'm doing now is I am breaking apart my pork. And we do have some great, I forget exactly what they're called. Somebody tell me, although I can't see see when you're talking to me. But there's our bone, and that's when you can tell your pork is so well done. Okay, just pulls that right out. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to shred this, and then we're going to serve it with tacos. And they can put whatever they want on top of it. You can laugh. We don't mind if you laugh. All right. So anyway, here we go, guys. And these are our pork carnitas. All right, you know what? I've got my raffle to do. Hold on one second. I gotta run and get my raffle tickets. You know what? I think people have forgotten that it's Wednesday, quite frankly. That's what I think's happened today. I think it's Tuesday. Okay, I want to thank, now don't forget, if you're watching, and if you watch by Thursday night at 6 o'clock, make sure to comment and your name will go into my raffle for the next week. This week I have a package of our Scampi seasoning, our meal mix, which is really good for my winner. I'd like to thank Denise Watzel, Laura Nakazel, Cindy Creasel, Maria Templeton, Dana Gotti, Deb Graw, Beth Williams, Mary Dzelski, Midge Werner, Bonnie Peter Durham, Nancy Martin, Tracy Weatherholt, Linda Griffin, and Jackie Carlissimo. Because Juanice was absent 2 weeks ago, playing the mom role, which was very wonderful. So I'm going to put those all in here, and I always like to pick a winner. Let's see who's the winner. And that is Maria Templeton. Linda's in mourning because she didn't win. All right, we've got about 5 more minutes on my brownies. I'm not going to hold you for that, but I will certainly take a picture and show you of course, they look just like square brownies out of the square brownie pan. I wish you could taste them though, and they're going to be quite good. So that is pork carnitas with coleslaw and pico de gallo for today. Actually, that took me 35 minutes, except for, of course, the cooking of the pork. And that's pretty good. When you got the Pampered Chef tools, it makes all the difference in the world. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. I look forward to seeing you next week. I know that next week already. I know what next week is going to be. It is going to be brown butter tortellini. So it's going to be really good. So we'll have to think of maybe we'll do some steak along with that. That sounds good too. Anyway, you guys, love you. Have a great night, and I will see you next week.